Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. Before we get to our top stories, we need to get a check of that weather with meteorologist Zach Scott. Zach, some weather moving through.
Yeah, we've got a strong cold front sweeping out of Oklahoma today, crossing the natural state, and with it a line of showers and thunderstorms. Top threat for some strong to severe storm potential today is going to be potential for a few gusty winds and a few pockets of hail. Those are the top threats, and the best chance to find those is mainly going to be near and south of I-40. Could get a strong storm or two to make its way north. Overall, likely weakening. Some gusty winds, maybe a pocket of some small hail up to the size of quarters. Again, we have seen some severe weather earlier this morning in south central Oklahoma. That threat is dying down some and shifting a little further south. We'll still watch southern zones for the potential, again, of a strong storm or two. Tornado threat is not zero. It is very low, mainly south towards LaFleur, Scott County. That could be one of those areas where one of those storms tries to rotate a little bit. But again, top threats that we're watching here today, still low, are some gusty winds and the potential for some small hail up to the size of $50. We're not anticipating widespread severe weather today. Again, a strong storm or two possible. Better chances south of our region. All right, here we go. Tracking the showers and thunderstorms out, moving out of Oklahoma and crossing that state line into Arkansas. 9, 10, 11. That's mainly the time that we should see the showers shifting from Oklahoma to Arkansas. 11, 12, 1 o'clock impacting a good portion of the area. By 2, 3 o'clock starting to shift out towards the east. Again, heavy rain, some lightning, some gusty winds, and a pocket of hail or two. Those are the top threats that we're watching today. Shower activity, again, the brunt of it is off towards the east by 3 o'clock with a few lingering showers, mainly in our eastern and southeastern zones late afternoon. But overall, we should be drier and a little bit cooler as we go into the evening. We'll get a break, then we could see a few more scattered showers develop early tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, mainly across our southeastern zones has that better shot. For today, though, 100% chance of rain sweeping across the area, upper 50s, low 60s. Also, we're watching the strong south winds move in. Morning to early afternoon, we could see gusts in northwest Arkansas 40 to 50 miles per hour. I think they could be 30 to 40 miles per hour for the River Valley, with winds generally, again, for the first half of the day, 15 to 25. We'll look for some lighter winds to come in this evening. Joe?
All right, thanks so much, Zach. An Arkansas man is sentenced in the death of Fort Smith native John Mundell. A judge sentenced Cecil Farrell to serve 10 years in prison. Now, the sentencing comes after Farrell pleaded no contest earlier this year to negligent homicide and leaving the scene of a death. Mundell, who was a 59-year-old father of 6, died 3 years ago while cycling in Sherwood, Arkansas. Farrell was arrested after an 8-month-long search. He did face up to much as 42 years in prison for the crime. And the trial of Amber and Jamie Waterman has now been delayed. The Southwest Missouri couple stand trial for the death of a pregnant woman from Benton County. Their trial was originally set to get underway in January, but will now start on June 5th at the earliest. The trial will happen in federal court in Springfield, Missouri, where both are being held right now. Amber is accused of kidnapping Ashley Bush from the Benton County area, then murdering her, hoping to claim her unborn child as her own. The baby, named Valkyrie Willis, also died. Her husband, Jamie Waterman, is accused as an accomplice in the case, and the two are expected to stand trial at the same time. You can find much more on this case, including a complete timeline from investigators detailing what happened. You can find that at 5newsonline.com. And the Fort Smith Board of Directors and Mayor could soon be getting a significant pay increase, with the board scheduled to vote on that pay increase today. 5 News reporter Micah Wilson tells us this would be the first pay increase for the Board of Directors in decades.
Micah, it's been 55 years. We have gas was 20 cents a gallon back then.
George Casavis is pushing for what he calls a cost of living increase.
It's just to pay the basics.
It's been a topic of discussion since November.
The proposal is to raise the salary of the Fort Smith Board of Directors from $1,000 a year to $7,800 a year.
Increasing the Board of Directors' monthly pay from around $80 a month to $650.
Even with this little small increase, we're still behind. Little Rock's, they pay theirs $2,000 a month. Fayetteville, Springdale, all them $1,700 a month.
Now, am I for it? I've gone back and forth. I think I am for it.
At-large Director Neil Martin says the money would come out of the city's general fund.
The general fund is funded by sales taxes, property taxes.
Right now, there are no plans to increase taxes to pay for the raises. The directors we spoke with say they are open to hearing from the public, but ultimately the decision will be left up to the directors and not the voters.
And I think that would be a great idea. However, it costs $30,000 for just to hold a vote in the city of Fort Smith.
Well, there is no timeline for directors to vote on the ordinance, but if approved, it would go into effect January 1st. And today, the board of directors will also vote on a salary increase for the mayor. It would be the first pay increase since 1998, raising that pay from $10,000 to $30,000 a year. And it would come out of the city's operating budget for the fiscal 2023 year. Well, Richard Barnett was supposed to appear in court this week, but the pretrial hearing has been pushed back yet again. The new court date is now scheduled for January 9th. Now, you may remember this man here. Barnett is the man who had his feet on a desk in Nancy Pelosi's offices during the January 6th Capitol riots. Barnett pleaded not guilty as he is facing many charges, including obstruction of an official proceeding, as well as entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds with a weapon. Well, the CDC reporting high flu activity in more than half of the country. That includes Arkansas and Oklahoma, which are both right now considered very high. In last week's report from the Arkansas Department of Health, the number of flu-related deaths for this season rose to 45, including one child. Nearly 750 people have also been hospitalized with the flu in Arkansas this year. And the cost of daycare can put a strain on families. That's why the city of Fayetteville is allocating $500,000 in American Rescue Plan funding to create child care assistance program. The city wants to help low to moderate income families by paying for up to 12 months of child care. Qualifying families must make 80% or less of the median income. For example, the family of 4 is eligible if their annual household income is $66,950 or less a year. Participating child care facilities must be licensed by the city of Fayetteville, and if approved, the city will send those payments directly to the child care facility.
We were hearing that a lot of families are struggling to get back on track, and child care is a huge load. So when families are already having challenges with all that we're seeing in the economy, and then you put on top of that the child care expense, which is huge, it just, I mean, they need that year of breathing room.
Now, you can apply for this by calling the Fayetteville Community Resources, emailing, or going in person to request an application. Applicants, they say, are on a first-come, first-served basis. You can also find a link to that application on our website at 5newsonline.com. Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Jo Ellison. Catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more. Have a great day.